Good morning, it's Brandy. I just wanted to talk to you about where Earth is right now energetically. So right now, Earth is in a place of infinite possibilities. And it's a place where the vision of truth is coming down to one. It's also in a place where we get to decide what the middle pillar is. Now with that, truth's coming out because how we've been living is, say you have a middle pillar. And this middle pillar is the balance between all people. And if everyone was created differently, and everyone has a different set of fingerprints, and everyone has a different ability, some similar, but they're here for their illusion, they're here for their purpose, they're here for a mission to remember who they are. That's probably the one thing we're all here for. We're here to learn and have fun. And sometimes through learning, we have pain. You're always going to have chaos through different shifts, right? So individually, you're individually in your own atmosphere, you're in your own illusion, you're in your own world of experience. So in my heart soul reading, this is what I talk about for the individual. Right now, I'm doing it for the world, the earth. So earth itself, which affects everybody, is in a place of balance and infinite possibilities. And it's the vision again of truth, right? And so with that, we have to use discernment. We have to look at everything that's coming to the plate and asking ourselves the question, is there any truth in this? Even if it's a hard truth, right? Like one of the hard truths right now is most people are suffering in mental health because they don't love themselves. So when people don't love themselves and they're looking for something external, it creates chaos inside. And then it creates chaos externally because everybody really wants people to love themselves. I mean, is there a certain population that might not want that in the dark? Yes, but let's talk about most people. And with that, when things come to the surface and we go, is there truth in this? Is there any truth that this is not good? Is there any truth that this is dangerous? And what does it come down to? What is the root cause? What do we need to do? Now, if you look at anything going on in politics right now, or in the world right now, if we go underneath all of that chaos, that garbage, and we pull out the truth, there's one truth. We, as a humanity, do not take care of our families to the degree in which we should. We don't build that bond because we're so busy with external things. So what could really bring us back to the middle pillar? Because we had this extremity of, we went to this extreme materialistic era, and we maybe went to this extreme, suffering in the cold and the heat without material things. But what is the middle pillar? How do we integrate the use of material things and the use of nature, and we bring it together for that middle pillar, right? Because there definitely needs to be a balance. If we're going from spending time with family to that now being replaced with spending time with the internet, or spending time with family and now we are working that, how do we bring the need to work, the need to be with family into the middle pillar? And then that's what we need to fight for as a humanity, right? Because there's infinite possibilities here, but we're also on two different paths of projection. And what that means is, if we choose to stay in chaos, we will not progress as a world, as Earth, right? You can still progress within yourself because that's essential to do as well. But if you want to progress as a humanity, we really have to start looking at the things coming to the table and finding out if there's any truth, even if we don't like it, right? We have to use discernment and go, oh, some of this has some truth here. This is really hurting humanity. This is also hurting humanity. How do we bring that to the middle ground? And how do we stop going on the pendulums this way, right? To the extremities or to the extremes. And so during this time, the earth has guides or angels that are helping it. And there's tons of angels and guides, dragon-like inferior gods and goddesses. Now, here's the thing with angels and gods and guides. They can come to those who can see, sense, and feel them and make decisions for us to be better. And I feel like that's where a lot of advocacy is coming in right now, because we're advocating for a balance. We're advocating for mental health. We're advocating to raise our children. We're advocating to raise our own foods. We're advocating, and we're taking the steps to make that happen, because we know that fighting doesn't resolve that problem. But if therapy says when a child is crying, when they're throwing a fit, they're dysregulated. So think about that in the earth right now. Humanity is dysregulated. So people are throwing fits because they're not being heard, they're not being seen. We're not answering the core questions. So what would happen if we took a step back and looked at this earth in a perspective of how do we regulate earth again? What do we need to do for families, for communities, for them to be regulated again, right? We have to find that middle pillar, and that's where earth is. And we can be scared because, there's this extreme stuff going on this way and extreme stuff going on this way, but we really got to find that middle pillar. So start within yourself and then your loved ones, and then reach out to your community and start to find that middle pillar. Find that infinite possibility. Where can I go in this truth? Right? And so the tools really are starting within. Do I love myself? Do my children love themselves? Does my community love themselves? Are we advocating for that balance of health? Or are we being egoic and wanting material? Are we being, so spiritual that we're not really here, right? So we have to find that middle pillar. And that's where earth is right now. They're in this really, in a place of infinite possibilities. And this is where there's a lot of fight going on. But again, change that fight to advocacy, for yourself and for others. If you're ever interested in getting your own heart soul reading, go ahead and book an appointment with me, www.divineawakeningscenter.com, or call in. It'll get easier to call in to Divine Awakening Center and get booked a heart soul reading. Have a good day.